demonic angel. I'm back after a few weeks, and that is because I just kind of had to drop everything to attend to my personal life. I had a family member ill. I was hosting people, making meals, and so I'm not afraid to drop things and attend to my personal life. Then I was behind with my online schooling homework, and I just thought I need to focus on this, and then turn my attention back to my channel, which as of recording has 526 subscribers, so thank you guys very, very much. I feel so excited. It seems like my video from last year on the different types of Satanism is very popular, so I'll link that in the description. I'm glad people find it helpful and relatable. So I will be back, and if I need to take a break to attend to my personal life for a few weeks, that happens every once in a while. It's not too often that I take that long, but everything's totally fine. And then my new announcement that I worked on for the last few days is I have had a few people subscribe for Patreon, and I'm going to put my link in the description. I have updated it, and I'm going to stick with doing all 3 tiers for the month of June 2021, and I'm going to get that going. So if you're interested in that bonus content, go ahead and check that out, and you can support me that way because I don't monetize on YouTube. That's in the description box below. And on the last note would be, I am working on a few projects, and even including a drawing that a gentleman did in a ritual working soon. So that is still happening. Just stay tuned, and all that stuff that I have talked about doing, all those projects, they are going to come to fruition. So hang in there, and with all that out of the way, let's get started on today's tarot. The 8 of Swords. The swords. So, I think that one of the things that comes to my mind at first is, what's the differences between the 8 of Swords and the 9 of Swords. This is more of like a worldly anxieties and issues, as opposed to, I think the 9 of Swords kind of has to do with specifically isolation and nightmares, being reclusive. This is more like you're still out in the world and functioning, but this is all this turmoil is happening anyway. So, we've got this kind of the gray sky. You can't look on the bright side. There's no bright side. The sky is just, there's no features, there's no clouds, it's just pitch gray. So there's nothing stands out, nothing's distinguishable. It's just that low feeling of kind of just being numb, just hopelessness, a real drain in energy after some depression, and it's just hard to smell the roses. It's hard to see the bright side in that kind of way. In the background we have, it looks like a castle, fortress, that's on this sort of it's like mountainside almost, where they've got the steep drop off, and this woman she's come a long way from royalty or what she expects of the world. So back at the castle, this of luxury, right, she had things taken care of for her, finances, basic needs. I mean, those things were not really things that concerned this woman for a long time. But then she went out in the world, the money got cut off, a family member died, a sugar daddy, dropped off, whatever, that now you're not in this luxury anymore, and really just that you're still kind of tied to these expectations here of expecting things to be that way, and realizing how hard it really is when you don't have those luxuries, and now you have to think about those things going down on Malinowski's hierarchy here. It's, you can't just be sitting around and throwing social balls when you're trying to worry about making enough money for your healthcare needs and your rent and etc. So that is to me, that connection of there was at some point maybe it's like you were helicopter parented by your parents, right? Maybe it's just kind of some kind of inheritance. You were just born with the silver spoon, and now you've traveled away from the castle, got thrown out. We don't really know, and it really doesn't matter. Now we see the she's very far from luxury, and it kind of looks like a desert. It's kind of dry, mud, clay looking, like a desert. So everything's barren. Once again, like the sky, non-distinct features, nothing stands out. The days run into nights, and you don't know what day it is, you don't care. There's no happiness, there's not a lot of sadness, there's just, everything's kind of the same. And it's not exactly like, oh, okay, here's the same exact thought or thoughts and the same energy, because every day is different, but it is the same by you're limiting yourself, so you keep having to revisit all these 8 different swords to confront your problems, and you're choosing that limitation, so you're trapped in that repeated experience. And that's really what's going on here. So she's blindfolded. The woman is blindfolded. And once again, now that even though she is away from the castle, she doesn't have jewelry, expensive items. She's just kind of dressed in like pauper's clothes, really. Like, she's got these bare essentials. But one thing is that she does have orange shoes, and for me, that's kind of her link here to the physical plane. That these 8 swords, the swords, the different thoughts and ideas, they're very, very important to karmic lessons, and that need to happen here. And even though they're so hard, they're so important. So they're likely lessons that we're looking at again from reincarnation. We're looking at the same karmic lessons over lifetimes, and we're trying to get different perspectives going on. The woman is folded here, but underneath her feet runs like a creek or a stream, I guess. And that's, even though she's blindfolded, she can't see, like her third eye, she doesn't see a fresh new perspective, literally. She is limited by her negative thinking. The water does suggest, the emotional water suggests that her intuition is telling her something that, she can't see. So whatever, as you guys know, the swords are, in this, Eight of Swords is this negative limitations. So with yeah, so with the idea that the swords are our own thoughts and negative self-beliefs, even though we're stuck in that perspective by all these different thoughts we choose to hang on to, we're still she's still aware in some way of the real answer or what's wrong, what needs to be done. She's like, it could be nagging feelings manifesting in dreams and nightmares, because in this case, the problem is that self-thinking, but that, we'll look at it like this. Addiction, because it's the classic example, and it just really, I think for me, and I think it illustrates this whole point, and it makes it very easy to understand. Let's take alcoholism, okay? So this lady is an alcoholic. The 8 swords, this one could be, I'll stop drinking tomorrow, that thought. Next one over here is, I had a really bad day, it's okay for me to let loose tonight. It's partying, it's socializing, so nothing, is wrong with me. I could stop anytime I want to. I'm going to drink less tomorrow, more tonight. I'm not hurting anybody by my drinking. I'm not worth love anyway, so why should I stop? Anything along those lines. So that's, all these different thoughts coming together to limit that, because in that whole idea of addiction, the lies, they're those self-lies, think that all addicts tell themselves for a while, and that is your thoughts and your perspectives that you're choosing. And I think there is that underlying sadness a lot of times of, I don't deserve love, I can't get better because I'm not worth anything. And it's just this negativity that is literally, it's binding you. It's binding you to the physical plane in a way that makes you suffer. You feel the physical agony of your wrong perspectives that are definitely out of harmony. And that's the idea, is that you're just out of line with harmony by believing these negative things about yourself and listening to your own lies. And it's just that being out of harmony results in these different kinds of karmic repercussions. So all those thoughts, that somebody believes for a long time as an addict, but the story I told about having reoccurring nightmares about bodily organs chasing me, pertaining to my alcoholism. That was like my body was wanting to live. That was the feeling of the dream. So it's like, oh, I can't kill myself because my cells want to live, and my body is like after me. And it was very like graphic, very emotional, very sensory, dream. And that is the intuition saying, hey, all these things up here, they're holding you back, they're lies, and you have to confront these things as lies. And that is the first step, but that's done through this intuition. So, there's that process of when intuition is hitting, that the person just kind of has to sit with it, and maybe they'll ignore it for a while, but eventually, if there's any harmony left within, this is reversed. now that we're getting into. Finding a way to say, these are lies. All these things, the ugly things I say to myself, I'm going to stop tomorrow, they're lies. And it's not about lying to other people, but it's about lying to myself. So that's the first step. And changing realizing that you have to change your whole thinking, that you are capable of so much. And even, if you've done horrible things, been at the bottom, rock bottom as we say, you're still able to come back and listen to your intuition, change your thinking, and by changing your thinking, your rationality will get you through the pain and the suffering that are required in this case, like this story talking about getting sober. That this is the way out, is the hard way and the truth, and it's not easy, and it's not always fun, and it's painful. Any kind of coming to consciousness is painful, as Jung says. So that's accepting. This reverse for me is this: you're accepting that that it's time for asking for help, for changing the negative self-talk. This can apply to any kind of situations we mentioned. Shopping addict, just somebody saying each sort here. I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm dumb. And other people might, say some of these things, but these are your swords, your thoughts, because you're choosing to let them live within your emotions, and it's just stabbing you, draining you of your energy and your potential, and that's going to trigger that reaction from your intuition, which will try to alert you. Take the hard way out, find the truth, be brave, change everything that you think about yourself. Watch the way that you speak to yourself. Nobody is perfect. We all have a bad day, and you say something, to yourself like, I feel fucking fat. And you just kind of, we all do it. But, when you catch yourself doing something like that, it's a call to rearrange your thoughts. That's not going to do anything. I mean, bottom line, it's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to make you feel better. It's not going to motivate you. The real motivation and stuff for change has to come from a place of light and love. And I don't know, when I say light, I mean understanding and gnosis of the truth. That through all these, understanding that your thoughts are creating your reality is a very, very, very important lesson to consciously realize. And it, she stands here on the earth reminding us that we all need to have this experience. We all need to just harbor all these, at some point, be burdened, just feel the weight of carrying. Can you imagine carrying all those swords around? It'd be heavy. Carrying that burden and realizing that you have to stop and sort that out. And it begins with your thoughts, because then we get into, you change your thoughts, you can change your emotions, because of course your thoughts are going to influence your emotions, that outward expression. But first, it works off the thoughts and feelings, the inwardness. So anyway, thank you guys, and I'm going to probably do one more tarot video here tonight, because I think I've got some time, and then we're going to get back into doing some other stuff. The links to my previous video from last summer that's popular is down below along with my Patreon link. So thank you so much. I'll talk to y'all later.